Segment is sponsored by the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency. Join us in preserving and protecting Tennessee's wildlife. All right, welcome back, everyone. You can call us here at 737-7767. We got a lot of callers. Let's go to our next caller, Brandon, because these people have been waiting. Who's our next one? Amy, how can we help you tonight?
Hi, I was just calling to find out whether or not you can actually shoot a deer in your own property, and what are the rules on baiting to do that?
Okay. Amy, we're glad you asked. And Brandon?
Well, I mean, on your own property, baiting is just as illegal in Tennessee as it is on public property. There's not any difference. If you have feed in your backyard and a deer comes in and is feeding in it and you shoot it, it's no different than if you. The law. That's right. I mean, there's no different than if you have it sitting out on 800 acres and you got a deer blind sitting over it. I mean, either way.
Or if you're on a half-acre lot, it doesn't
or a
matter.
half-acre lot, there's no difference.
No difference.
No difference at all.
And you do have to possess a license. They want them checked in. They want them checked in, so you do have to check them in with your with a.
You can get a permit. There's a landowner use permit. You get
landowner
it.
use permit, right? But they still want you to check them in, and it has to be during hunting.
You still got the same laws as anybody else.
You have the same, yes.
And they want you checking it in because biological reason. I mean, they want to know
how many deer we got.
Just like they want you to be in the number just like anybody else.
Just like anybody else. We hope that helps you out, Amy.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. And we have Gerald. Gerald, how can we help you?
Hello, Hugh. It's Charles Smith up in Gordonsville, Tennessee.
Yes, sir.
I just wanted to throw my 2 cents worth in there. The difference in having food plots and baiting. One thing about the food plot, it has a value to many different critters.
Okay.
I put out a lot of winter wheat, and turkeys in the wintertime will come in there and graze that winter wheat just like a bunch of cattle.
Now, Gordon, I want to, because Brandon and I also talked about that. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, Brandon and I are going to continue this series. We're going to do it again next month. And we're going to keep talking about this because we think that the best information is informed information. Now, Gordon, getting back to your question.
Yes, sir.
When you're talking about wheat, though.
Winter wheat. Green winter wheat.
But we're not saying that you have to necessarily bait with corn. That's just what a lot of people use.
Right.
You don't have to do that.
I put out cornfields and we grind corn and we leave a lot of corn standing.
Right.
Benefits the bobcats.
Sure does.
Hawks, rabbits, it protection, it just a lot of value to putting out food plots, and it does a lot more for the wildlife than just pouring out a bag of corn, let my steers come in there and crows get it, and it gone next day.
And you're right. And we also, Brandon and I both looked at the proteins and everything that in corn. Corn absolutely is not.
It's
good.
It's fat.
It's just fat.
They get a little fat.
They get fat from it. That's what corn is about.
Right.
Is they just get fat. Is that necessarily a good thing? No, if it's during the hot summertime, they need more than fat to survive. They need, and that's where I think the minerals, when you put out minerals, I think that's such a good thing to do. But there's just totally different aspects of things that you can put out. Sugar beets, I believe one of our states is Minnesota. No, it didn't. It is Michigan. Beets. They bring in beets by the dump truckloads to feed deer.
Well, when I put out turnips and turnip greens, hey, I feed my family, and I even feed the neighbors turnip greens. The deers. They love them.
Yeah, they do.
They do. They love them. And these new these Ukrainian radishes that you and I talked about, Brandon, they've gotten hot. Deer really liked them. They've never seen a radish a day in their life till now. But us as deer hunters, we keep trying anything and everything to draw more deer. And so we'll try a new product or a new this or a new clove or, I mean, goodness gracious, you got to admit now, Whitetail Institute's made a mint over changing clovers.
Yeah, that Ladino clovers.
Yeah, they've done real well doing that. So what we're saying is it's a thin line, we feel, that it between baiting and growing food plots, because in essence
Absolutely.
you're drawing them.
Then all the taxes, you know, when I go to the co-op and buy this corn and
Yeah.
all the seed, that helps out the economy too.
You're exactly
it
right.
does.
But now we're going to talk about something else Brandon and I
That'll
talked
be-
about the other night that I think you're going to like. And we're not going to bring it up tonight, but we're going to bring it up next month. And I want you to think about it because seriously, Brandon came up with this idea. And I tell you what, he may have jacked one out of the park with this one. Okay. So we're going to bring it up next month, though, but we want to keep talking about this.
I will say I do agree with the benefits you're speaking about with having green fields or winter wheat, Ladino, whatever it may be, just because it's on a larger spectrum. But just the corn you're talking about planting that they love so much and are coming in so much, that's fantastic. But a lot of people argue, and again, we're not one way or the other, but a lot of people argue that they don't have the ability to be able to get that planted. And so they think that there's no difference in them putting corn out versus you planting it. You will benefit more animals because you have a lot more of it. But we're just kind of trying to look at both sides of it.
Yeah.
Right.
But
And
I agree with
appreciate
you. I
y'all
do
making
agree with
all
you.
this. It's just a good food for thought. Take care.
Thank
Very
you,
good.
sir.
Thank you.
We appreciate you. And we got Toby. Toby, how can we help you?
Yes, sir. I've got two questions.
Sure.
My first one is, what's the difference in killing 3 does a day for the whole season and baiting?
Well, there again, I believe it goes back to our wildlife biologists.
Well, the 3 does a day, for example, I mean, you got very few hunters that are going to shoot 3 does a day. I mean, it's almost unrealistic to even look at it that way. But the reason that I think anyhow, and this comes down to my thoughts on it. Now, there's nothing in a book that says this, but they use the 3 does a day because there's so many people that do not take the opportunity to take does and things like that. So they're wanting the guys that do want to take a few more to have the chance to do that. So in other words, one man that might want to shoot 10 or 12 does a year can do that because another guy might not shoot any at all. So it kind of helps keep the numbers more in balance. And also with 3 does a day, you might not get to hunt but 1 or 2, 3 times a year, and you want a few does, you can go out there Saturday, and if you get the chance, you know, you can shoot 3 does and have them. But nobody's out. You're going to go shoot 270, 300.
Was 122 deer you could take legally? I've yet to hear anybody say they even come close.
No, I mean, most
Not even
even your
50%.
big, you know, a lot of the guys that do shoot a lot of does, they might shoot 12 or 15.
I
I'm
haven't
not
heard of
saying there's
anybody
people
take
that's more,
50%.
but
61 deer.
no, I mean, no,
I ain't heard
not
that.
at all. I just think if people or everybody was out shooting 3 every day, and you know, when we started seeing some problems, you know, they'll make adjustments at that point
They'll
in
make
time.
adjustments.
But right now, they're just trying to keep the populations where it needs to be at the right capacity, and that's what's working right now.
It is.
You know, so
And by the way, just to let everybody know, Tennessee is now has the most deer population that it has ever had in its complete history. So season opened in 1959, and it was only 1 deer, and it was only 1 buck you could take then.
and
now
just a few counties.
It's 122 you can take in
Yeah.
these L counties, and here it is 2017, and we now have more deer on the hoof in this state than at any other time in its history. So
Doing
big thank
something
you.
right.
We're doing something
And-
right.
and
We're
they're doing something right. The
And
state's doing it
TWRA
right.
is doing
So,
something right.
yeah.
That's exactly right. So we appreciate your call.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you. And we have Charles. Charles, how can we help you tonight?
Yes, sir. I'm 67 years old. Been much show since I was 11 years old, and it's a good show.
Well, thank you, sir.
Question is, I'm 67, and I've fished ever since I was 11 years old, and I heard that when you reached a certain age, you didn't have to buy the hunting and fishing license. And I'm just wondering what that age is.
I believe it's 65.
It is 65.
I don't hold me. I believe it's 65 years old. My dad has one now. and he's had it for several years. He is over 70 now, but I believe at 65 is when he was able to do that.
Right.
You can obtain a lifetime senior sportsman's at that point if you want.
Right.
And once you do that,
or you can buy yearly for $11.
You can, right.
So TWRA and the whole state has done really well in helping out the senior citizens in our communities, and so, but it does at 65 it changes, and you can get a yearly license, hunting and fishing license for $11, or you can buy that sportsman's lifetime.
That's what Dad did. He just got it one time.
What is it, like
he's got it forever.
$200 or 160?
I don't think it was that much. So I don't know. I mean, I'm not
It's
sure,
not even
but
that
it
much.
wasn't that bad.
No, it wasn't bad at all. But you can do it right now, sir.
All right, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Hey, we've got to do our product of the week, and I've got to show you. Now, you and I love this guy.
They're the real deal, man.
I mean, here it is. The product of the week is being brought to you by Caney Fork Outdoors, the River Runners, and they're over here at the Donaldson Shopping Plaza. You got to check them out at Donaldson Shopping Plaza, or they're down here where you get off the interstate at Edgar Evans Park. The big market at the it's a four-way stop. It's a four-way stop. Big Rock.
Big Rock. That's
Big
it.
Rock. You got to stop in there. That is the home of Caney Fork Outdoors. So we really, really appreciate it. But Ryan's over here in Dawson. He said, "Come on and get you some." Get into the kayak fishing business. I'll tell you what, it's a lot of fun. A lot of people are getting into it. My goodness, it is fun sport. Hey, turkey season is less than 2 weeks away for our youth and 3 weeks away for our adults and our senior citizens and all that. Turkey calls have got to be on your brain at this time. Ladies and gentlemen, I've tried all kinds of calls, and there's a lot of calls out there, and I'm a fan of all of them. But the ones that consistently do the best for me is Tom Teasers. And I introduced you to Tommy.
You introduced me to them this year, and I've been running. I think I got 5 or 6 of their calls. I think I got just about one of what he had at the show. But they sound good.
They sound great.
Every one of them I've used. The hillbilly hen, if I had to pick a favorite, man,
That's
that hillbilly hen is the real deal, yeah.
Just a great call. I showed you the Meemaw Mama and now the hillbilly and the hot mama. All of these calls are just great mouth calls. Practice with them. Get them out. Start practicing with them. Hey, we got to take a quick break. We'll be right back with more Southern Woods and Waters.